I want to ask, is the Presidential Task Force ensure that there is mass production? No. And lastly, UK doctors over the weekend expressed concern that about 250 ventilators from China could cause the death of COVID-19 patients. I want to ask the Minister of Health, can your ministry vouch for the quality of ventilators received from China? Thank you.
Good afternoon, all. My name is Friday Okerigwe. I'm a reporter with Channels TV. I would like to direct my first set of questions to the NCDC DG. While you were making your remarks, you said, I'm sure you also listened to, he was telling us about 4,000 Nigerians abroad waiting for evacuation. He also went ahead to list those who, the number of those who should be expecting, 300, 200, and so. You targeted 2 million to be tested by the end of May. Adding the expected explosion in the number of cases that we are anticipating, with these citizens that are expected to be evacuated from across the country into Nigeria, do you have capacity to manage the numbers of people that may direct a question to the Minister of Health? It has to do with the wrangling among health workers. After the announcement for the insurance was made last week, medical doctors, nurses, lab scientists, and pharmacists, there is a wrangling, and there was a meeting between your ministry and the lab scientists last week. The Minister of State for Health attended that meeting. The meeting essentially was to resolve the wrangling between the lab scientists and the doctors, because the lab scientists said that the ministry referred to them as others. In the list of the insurance, the doctors are told that they will be paid 3 million naira. We paid 2 million naira each as insurance. And then others, which include lab scientists, will be paid 1 million naira that they will down tools on Thursday. I don't know if you're aware of that. How are you managing that problem so that we do not get to Thursday and face that problem? It will be a national embarrassment. I'll be asked to stop. All right, thank you.
Of Nigeria. My first question is for the WHO representative. Yes, we learned that COVID-19 has a strain. I don't know if you can tell Nigerians which is ours, or what happens if we don't develop vaccine for COVID-19. It has happened before, like. Meanwhile, my next question is for the DG and CDC. Please, sir, from the point of collection of samples, what's realistic turnaround time is actually involved? Many persons waiting for the result and primary health care. What happens to some wards that don't have primary health center, and these same people still make use of what we all know as chemists? And this, the chemist man is not protected, he's not using a PPE. Many thanks.
My colleagues. My name is Amaka Ude. I report for Rise News. And my first question really goes to the Minister of Health. Well, recently we've seen a spike in the number of health workers with COVID-19, and even some states over the weekend are threatening to go on strike because, tested, and of course they are positive. So my question really is, what can we attribute this high number of those on the front lines testing positive to? Is it a lack of training issue, or is it a lack of PPE? When that MOU was signed to improve the hazard allowance and even, the insurance, how soon that was going to take off, and he told me it was immediate. Over the weekend, I had some health professionals reach out to me, and they told me the hazard allowance is still 5,000 naira after they received their April salary. So I would need an update from you concerning that. And finally, even the experts you sent down there saying there's 80% community spread in Kano. But despite this, the Kano state government said they got an approval from the federal to lift the federally imposed lockdown for a few hours in some days for people to go to the market. And I'm asking, what is the logic?
Good afternoon, good evening, SGF, Honorable Minister. With TVC News. My question is for the SGF, sir. So you started your remarks today by extending a warm regards to the fourth estate of the realm on the commemoration of the World Press Freedom Day. And indeed, even the Honorable Minister of Information did likewise. So I would like to a sports journalist in Akwa Ibom State who was arrested by the department of by the DSS for what the government called defamation, for being critical of the government's response plan to COVID-19. I would like to know what the presidential task force can do for these colleagues at this time. And again, sir, talking about the response plan of different states, all the will the presidential task force be in some states? That is the presidential task force and indeed the presidency taking charge of the response plan for COVID-19 in some of these states. Will it be a card that you put on the table? Thank you.
Yes, SGF, sir. So, I just want to plead to my minister, the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, that we appreciate in Yoruba after asking that question in English. Thank you very much, sir. My first question it, but this morning was somehow terrible. Physical distance, nothing, no face masks, and it's even resorted to a riot at that place. I think the PTF need to do something about that, maybe calling upon the CBN so that they can assist. Also the transportation. Maybe the unions need to do something about it, to discuss with their members, to allow them to comply with the guidelines so that we can have enough. The last question is about our visitors from China. We've been long that we've heard about them, how are they, and how àjáde lọ sí àwọn ilé ìfowópamọ́sí ṣùgbọ́n ṣe ńláàánú pé ọ̀pọ̀ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ilé ìfowópamọ́sí ti di ọjà tó jẹ́ wípé àwọn èèyàn pọ̀ ń bẹ̀ lọ́pọ̀ yanturu, àwọn kan ò lo bójúbómú wọn, kò tẹ̀ sí ààyè fún ẹlòmíràn. Kí ni ikọ̀ amúṣẹ́ṣe ti iléeṣẹ́ ààrẹ lórí àrùn COVID-19 tó lè bá wa ṣe láti lè rí wípé gbogbo nǹkan báyìí ó dínkù, àti ìrìn àjò àwọn awakọ̀ wa pé wọ́n lè bá wa pe àwọn ẹgbẹ́ àwọn tó ń wakọ̀ láti lè bá wa rí sí nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀. Bákan náà, àwọn àlejò wa tó wá láti ìlú China, báwo ni wọ́n ṣe wà àti wípé ìrànlọ́wọ́ gan wọ́n ti ṣe fún wa láti ìgbà tí wọ́n ti dé. Thank you very much, sir.
They have been directed that the Honorable Minister of Health, the WHO representative, the Honorable Minister of Environment, the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, and the SGF. We shall start with the Honorable Minister of Health.
I think there are some which maybe the acoustic was not too clear, but if you think I'm not on point, you can go back to it. Now, as for the children in Bauchi, it's regrettable. It's always very sad, and we're sorry that they are very regrettable. You were talking about RUTF. Therapeutic food is something that actually is to treat what they call severe acute malnutrition, which should be in a hospital. So the system in there, and probably from there they will have been able to act. The other thing, I don't know how accurate your own information was, but it's regrettable, and we would not like to see any. About a research program, we are involved in some research with the and there are people who, as I've said many times here, have brought both orthodox and traditional, and we direct them to the various sources for evaluation, research and development, and they have been doing a wonderful job. They have in fact about 11 products which they have brought, and one product for handling, for treating sickle cell anemia has in fact been licensed out to a pharmaceutical company for production, developed from plant from whatever country they come from. Whatever country they come from, they be checked, they be looked at. Even the ones that are produced locally here have to be verified by the authority. Once they are certified as fit, they will be used. But if they are brands that are already known here, that have been used before, then usually you say, well, this is a brand that we already have been using. But if it's a completely new brand that you don't know, you make that examination very strict and firm. But it applies to ones coming from anywhere at all. We don't discriminate. We produce for insurance and for compensation for hazard allowance, where from the medical laboratory science came, and who came from jobs. So I spoke with and clarified it, and we left very happy. Category of the medical laboratory science is the same where the pharmacists and the nurses. They don't belong to others. So that is not properly put. Time when we are in community, very strong in being at the forefront to block or identify persons coming in with suspicious symptoms. But now that most of the cases are coming from grassroots of the community, help us very seriously in educating the people. It is true that there are areas where we've been our primary healthcare centers functioning, but you do have also the community health workers. Health workers who work with the polio program, the 5,000 polio workers who are available to help anytime in doing what the primary healthcare would like them to do. In the primary healthcare polio legacy. Now, health workers, well, you will, I do not want my colleagues in the health sector to be this is an extremely infectious disease. It is one of the most easily at once that it can cripple even the most. Always one. Be careful when you are dealing with people you suspect. I don't mean drive them away or don't work with them. Give them necessary advice. Do a triage to be sure that you know the risks. If you have personal protective equipment, use your equipment. The list of that will be your mask when talking to someone. That's the list. If you have gloves, put on your gloves. If you have a coat or a lab coat, put that on. All these give you additional protection. Because you are a doctor or a worker, no, this virus does not respect anyone at all, has no respect for anyone. So whether they are closer to the risk, that's why we're looking at the hazard allowance and the insurance that we're talking about. But that is no reason have a high index of suspicion. Use we see what you can do for them. There's still malaria. There's still other ailments out there which people come to you for, which you still need to be able to attend to, because they don't disappear because Corona came in. You also notice that if you are looking at news around the world, that various other countries complain the same. Both the private and public sector were not trying to differentiate, but we also know that there are some who got infected not in other ways, but when you are looking at the profession and it's a healthcare worker, you class it as healthcare worker. And any array of forces to fight coronavirus for the SGF. But my colleague told me it was meant for me. It's a delicate balance that you have to make, because the president took a very wise decision to ease the restriction and at the same time strengthen the requirements for maintaining health. We have reached a certain level in healthcare where you begin to balance pros and cons. They can't go to farm, they can't carry farm produce, but the president has taken a very wise position in between, taking that thin line between the two sides, which assures us that 15 layers of points that were laid time allow people to means of income, those who are on daily pay could not live a life. So that line in between, the success of it depends on all citizens stringently than before. So the health side we don't necessarily lose, and in fact, if we are lucky, we might even gain better off financially and economically. I can't make a comment about that. I think that is all. I think that's all with the health sector. Yes, okay. No, a new plan has been set up for hazard allowance. It's been laid out already. With the Ministry of Finance, because it will be set out from the people in. It starts not going to be a problem for those who are already working and have issues in that area. So once the formalities are done, which go beyond the decision making, I think that the date will be set that is effective from so date, so you can have all that you want to have in that regard. I think that's all now. Thank you.
So thank you. You know, the has only been ever, and that's the HIV program. And it took about 5 to 7 years that were from reagents coming into the country, the challenges with the supply chain. It comes in, then all those sample transportation media have to be transported across the country through using whatever means. Those samples have to be collected, sent back through whatever means we can find. So this is a hugely complex problem. Once a sample comes to the lab, technology, and that change came with some challenge. Nigeria. So one thing I can assure everyone is that we're working very hard every day, and we're seeing the changes. The reason why you see increasing numbers is because we're testing more. We have every state now has a positive case apart from 2. The reason is because we're getting samples from these states. So every day we're adding capacity. That capacity is now fed into the system. We haven't even exhausted the testing capacity that we have. We're working very hard to reduce the turnaround time, but the turnaround time is dependent on many things that are sometimes outside the direct control of NCDC. Sometimes it led to some delay in discharge. There was a second question on markets versus churches and mosques. I think everyone will eventually come. Guidelines, we're just dealing with the phase 1. Food is an existential issue. You might also argue that religion is the same. But food really is an existential issue, which is one reason we have prioritized it. Also, most markets are open air, so it is still better to be in the open air than where you come to stay and pray and you're not under pressure for time. We're not even saying that we're happy with the situation in the markets across the country. Yeah, so we're really still appealing to everyone, even in those market places, to help us make this work. We know that many of our congested places with many points of entry, very difficult to control access. In fact, the perfect place for transmission. So by no means are we saying that the marketplace are the example. We had to allow markets to continue because people have to eat to some extent, while appealing to everyone to please use their masks when they're in the market. Do what you can. If you're buying, advise the seller to use his mask and insist on those masks before you start your transaction and you're bargaining over price. You might save your life. And then Friday. I've watched the Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs really work extremely hard over the last 2 weeks to struggling to come back to Nigeria. And I'm sure many of you would know that. It's been a traumatic experience for many of them. Many of them saved for months for an opportunity to either travel for education or for something else. And suddenly they have been stuck outside the country for come back home. All of them are Nigerians. So we have a responsibility to ensure that. So our responsibility is to work together with the various agencies, Ministry of Aviation, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Port Health Services, and make sure that we provide as safe as possible an opportunity to come back. But we cannot from coming home. So we have to manage this return in a dignified way and make sure that we keep them safe, keep ourselves safe, and manage the context. But also remember that the situation has changed from, and this is what happens with every pandemic. It starts from one place, but eventually it spreads around. So right now, this problem, and I'm confident that with this unity, with the collaboration across government, we'll be able to manage a safe return for these Nigerians and enable their reintroduction so that they can start off their lives. Their lives have been on suspension for like 2 months now for many of them, and they also need to regain their livelihoods and re-enter society. Thank you. In terms of testing in Kano, right? There are short-term challenges that we need to test more.